Yo, what it do? It's your boy Young Weezer. Welcome back to KFKulture's YouTube channel, and this is KFKulture, the podcast dedicated, situated for all the Cape Town artists. Not any artists, but actual artists, and we got a real artist up in here. Also, don't forget, audio episodes available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. Also drop a comment what you think of today's episode. We'd love to hear it. Quick intro. Oh yeah, this is episode 29. Dit. Oh, sorry about that. And short intro. Photo and video killer guru. Video editing guru. Editing guru, car enthusiast dog. And where are you from now?
Me?
Yeah, now at the moment.
At the moment, I'm from Richwood.
Richwood. And his name is Divan. Divan. Shout out. Oh, we. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. It was always on my list to have you on the podcast. No cap, real story.
Sure.
So how are you?
I'm good.
How's the week been?
The week's been busy.
As usual?
Yeah, daytime job, or my normal job, kind of keeps me busy during the week.
Uh-huh.
And then obviously the family. 5 kids, it's hectic.
Oh yeah, and how do you manage that?
Sure.
A lot of mental preparation, a lot of patience.
Yeah, especially we've only got one boy. So from my fiance's side, she's got 3 kids. I've got 2 kids from my side. 4 daughters, 1 boy.
Yo, I can only imagine how that must be.
Yeah.
Look, can you give like a brief introduction about yourself?
Yeah.
Then I'll go from there.
Okay, so where do I start?
Doesn't have to be like deep, because we're gonna go there now.
Okay,
So like a summary, if someone had to ask you, hey, who are you? What do you do?
Okay, so yeah, I'm Divan Shepherd. I run Resistance Lifestyle for the cars, mostly stance car related, and then I have my Divan Shepherd Lensmatics on the sideline for your normal family photos and anything else photography and videography wise. Daytime, my normal job is a client reporting specialist, so that is in the finance industry, kiddo fund services. That's basically it. I'm getting married in November also.
Ooh. Oh wait, shot, man. Shot. Taking the big leap. You are into cars and photo/video.
Yes.
We start off with, how did you get into photo and videography?
I think we can start with photography first.
Yeah.
I think video only came recently now, but
Okay.
photography, I always used to go to Kalani. So my father bought me back then at Hi-Fi Corporation, so a small white camera, digital, with a memory card and everything, but there was no screen to see what you take photos of.
Damn.
So yeah, that is how I started out. That was about, I need to think now. That was 2005.
Okay.
I started with that, and then my passion followed with that. I got another point and shoot camera like 2 or 3 years after that. I think it was a Kodak. Also like a normal digital camera. It wasn't your lens where you attach. It's just everything was in one. You have to start somewhere. It's like you get that cheapy camera and you upgrade later through, And people told me, look, you need to take this further. You've got an eye for it. So I started. I think I invested in a Nikon D3000 after that, and that is where all kicked off. That time I was Div Photography, because everybody used to call me Div.
Oh, okay.
Because of we spoke about this
Yeah,
briefly
yeah, yeah,
earlier.
yeah,
People
yeah.
can't pronounce my name properly. It's either Divan or Divan or
Uh,
Divan. So people just decided to call me Div. Um, yeah, so the D3000 I had, and then after that I upgraded to like a Canon 500D. Um, that was basically the starting point, and that is where we invested in the Nifty 50 also.
okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So the Nifty 50, for those that don't know, that's the 50mm f1.8 camera lens. I shot with that kit for about 4 years. Then I got a 550D after that, and just after that, like a year after that, everything just fell flat. I took a break from photography for 6 years. I had to sell my gear. It's one of those things that happens in life. And to keep myself busy, I had to do like drawings and stuff. Like I think you checked on my Instagram
Yes, yes,
page.
yes, yes, yes.
Because I didn't have a camera, I
Oh,
was working on drawings and stuff just to keep the creative art flowing.
okay.
And then about 2 years ago, I started making a comeback again to start. I left the Resistance in the capable hands of Fabian. So obviously there wasn't any media guy involved, but they kept the brand alive. Basically to, how can I say, go to car shows, King of Slam they held. But yeah, then about, yeah, so 2.5 years ago I started coming back again. Got me a second-hand camera to start off with, and then I just worked myself up there again. Started delving into video. Yeah, and that's about it.
Wait. It can't be that easy. Um, video. Wait, you could have chosen just to stay on photo.
Yes.
Why did you go to video?
Um, Nowadays, people, the video is more in demand, man.
Mm.
So I'm not saying there's a market due to market demand, but people is watching reels and stuff and YouTube, and my plan was always to go into the YouTube channel
Mm.
vibes. But it never materialized, and obviously that 6 year break, it put some ideas in my head. I thought, okay, I'm gonna put a plan in place, and I'm going to work from there, build myself up again. I did delve a bit into video back then with the 550D, but the autofocus was properly poor. It's like, I think, yeah,
So it
and we
wasn't
had
the best.
yeah, and we had a slider that we built, basically two poles and a thing just to slide the camera around with, because that time there wasn't gimbals and you were basically left with freehand
Yeah,
videography.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that is why you'll see back in the day a lot of the guys' videos look like it's warped,
yeah.
you know, to put that stabilization in.
Um. Okay, wait. Let's check here quickly. My notes here. Um. Run through your gear at the moment that you have, that you use when you shoot.
Okay,
I just wanna hear.
so currently I shoot with a Sony A7 III.
Mm.
I've got a Samyang 35mm f 1.4 Mark II lens. I've got a Samyang 18mm f 2.8 lens for the wide angle. I use that for vlogging mostly, but for rolling shots as well. And then I've got the 85mm Voltrox f 1.8 lens. Um, I go with third-party lenses because of the affordability. The Sony lenses is just ridiculously overpriced at
Mm.
the moment. Then obviously I've got all my filters, like the ND filters, the CPL filters. For video, you do need your ND filters to match your shutter speed, basically. Your frame rate, you need to match it to your shutter speed. So um, if I shoot at 50 frames per second, I need to have a shutter speed 1/100. That is where the ND filter comes into
Mm.
play, because you need to match your exposure correctly with a variable ND, or if you have a normal ND, you're gonna have to swap between various ND filters. But the variable ND is much easier to use. Besides all that stuff, I've got a Ronin RS3 gimbal that I use. Yeah, that took me quite a bit to get up to that part. I had to work my way, and this is what problem I'm sitting with right now. The guys are saying, but you run a stance blog, um, your car's not bagged, and you don't have wheels on and stuff. So I said, I'm investing in my gear first before I go to my car.
Big facts. Because you have to invest in yourself. You can't just invest in the car and you have a talent.
Yeah.
If you were just a car guy, I feel like, yeah, do that. But if you are artist, then in the gear, that would be the first choice. As long as you're mobile, but your gear first choice. No way. Wait, I think. Oh yeah. Did you study?
No.
You see, guys. Okay, wait. It's like self-taught, ne?
Self-taught, yes.
Self-taught and maybe some YouTube videos.
Not really. YouTube I look at for inspiration.
Uh,
But back then, I mean, I didn't have internet or anything, so I had to. My friend used to download Photoshop for me. I don't know, it's illegal shit. Back then, I think it was called CS3 or something like that.
yeah, it was like way
Creative
younger
Suite or
models,
something like that it was called. And I played around with that on my own. I had to figure everything out myself because I didn't have internet to go check YouTube videos or anything.
Just
So-
look there, guys. You don't have to go study. Not saying you shouldn't go study, but I'm just saying if you're really passionate, you can go for it. Teach yourself. And did you have any like mentors or like people that guided you?
I didn't have mentors. I had
Nothing.
friends
Okay.
that literally the worst possible things that people can say to you. I went through with them because I say me straight. That's kak.
Yeah.
I won't say creative criticism. It's more harsh criticism than anything else. And I mean that is where, a lot of guys of today, you say something to them, they catch feelings.
Yeah.
But you don't mean it that way. You actually trying to help them in the right direction. I mean, a lot of the guys ask me like, the same question, and I'm telling them, you guys have it very easy compared to what I had it. I mean, I was literally, sometimes the guys say stuff and you were like, yes, see, that's taking me back. It's like, okay, do I really call you a friend right now? Or, but at the end of the day, when you take one step back, it teaches you discipline, not to engage with stuff like that. You just need to go back and say, and this is something that my parents told me, always remain humble. No matter what someone says back to you, you just need to take that in, reflect on it, and see what you can do better with it, no matter how bad the news is that the people is giving you.
I feel like sometimes you need that in your life, like people telling you, nah, this is whack. Because in that way it can help you as well. Maybe you just look back at it and like, okay, nah, he was right. Because I feel like also as artists, we are very emotional with our, like how can I say? Yeah, we're very emotional when it comes to our art. So if I put something out and I maybe sat 10 hours with us and now you're telling me this is whack, then yeah.
You catch feelings.
Yeah. Editing, or your process when editing. Just run through that, and also what your editing schedule looks like.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the photos first. I usually spend about roughly an hour to an hour and a half on one photo, right? as a starting point. So what I do mean with that is like I try to find the exact feel, but over the years you get acquainted with what you need to do already. So obviously that timeline gets shorter, but I still want to make sure I put an hour aside for that photo. Sometimes I'll go over it, but then I play around with the controls, the color grading, your HSL and saturation and all those kind of things, just to make sure I have the calibrations right. Unfortunately, it's not simple anymore because of, depends what monitor you have, and it needs to be color correct. And when you finish it here, it looks quiet here, but when you go up and you upload it and you check it on your phone, but now this thing looks dark, or it looks too yellow, or it's too blue. Your warmth.
Same when you like print photos and stuff like that.
Yes. So it kind of takes a process. So what I do is I'll save it to my phone, I'll view it on my phone, then I'll save it to a memory stick. I can view it on a TV also, just to make sure I've got my color grading right. So yeah, I go through that process, um, and then obviously the schedule. The editing schedule, because I've got a daily job, I need to make sure I have time after hours. I book like an hour or two after time if I have a lot of work lined up. Sometimes I just try to get everything done, because there is times that you get clients in and say, okay, I need something now. Then it's not just 10 photos, it's a whole bunch of photos. And you always need to be prepared. Make sure you finish your work, what you have there, get it done, get it out. I know there's a lot of photographers that don't believe in that, but they sit 4 to 6 weeks and then the client. Some people even take 2 to 3 months to give their work to the clients. And I'm not saying this now to throw shade on anyone, but they sit and wait, and they don't always have a schedule, work coming up with, but they take their time with it, which in essence is a good thing, because you need to take time with these things. But then it comes a moment when you become busy with your bookings, and then your other clients that you shot first, stuff falls behind because you're already busy with other work. That's why I say get it out of the way as soon as possible. Learn yourself the capabilities of the application. Get everything done and dusted as soon as possible. That is how I get my schedule out of the way. Like, the guys know if I shoot something that same evening after the shoot, I'll upload a photo teaser and I upload a video teaser, like a 30-second teaser, just to show what's coming. And then I use that week to finish the photos and the video at the same time. Obviously, depending on how busy my schedule is, but I try to get it out of the way as soon as possible. I think I can do a bit more better with my video and photos if I just take more time. But in today's life and time is money,
Yeah. The people are gonna be like, oh yeah, how do you feel about like when you take a photo, when you do a shoot, example with car people now, and then next week, so maybe you did it a Sunday, Wednesday, how far are you? Are you done yet?
With the car channel, I don't necessarily charge the people, so I have that freedom to work with the timeline I need, because if I approach someone, I can't tell them, yeah, but you need to pay me now. You approaching someone to feature their car. And that is the beginning stages of the YouTube and stuff, so you have to work hard, you have to put in that free work to get back, because at the end of the day, for me, it's returning clients at the end of the day, because they referring people to me for other type of photography, even car shoots. But I'm not trying to demotivate people here, but there isn't really money in car shoots, unless you're shooting for a dealership or have a contract with a dealership like Hyundai or whatever like that. Yes, there is a market for it, but it's oversaturated. It's flooded at the moment. Like, all the quiet places, if I can call it that, has the photographers and videographers earmarked already.
Moving, because you kind of didn't like answer the question properly.
Okay.
But like, I mean, how do you, you do the shoot Sunday, right? But it's good you delved into that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You take the shoot Sunday. It can be free, but I mean, he's asking you Wednesday, yeah, you done yet?
Nah, I've got a good relationship with the guys, and they know I'm straight up front with them at the photo shoot. So I'll tell them the moment we finish, I'll tell them, look here, I'm gonna take a couple of days. Don't worry, but when they follow up with me on a Wednesday, I will tell them, look here, I told you it's gonna take a couple of days. You just need to understand this is not my full-time job, you know. So then the guys have an understanding around that because they know I'm very busy on my schedule, and I mean that the channel has actually taken a knock now because I'm not posting weekly consistently like I used to because of I think Fabian mentioned it in the last video.
We were in the garage.
Yes, that I was at the moment very busy.
Oh yeah, I did mention he was sitting on what is the crate or something?
Crate, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That I'm very busy at the moment, so it's wedding plans, it's work. I started a new position in another team, so I'm doing training there after our work with that work. And then I still have clients on photography, videography, and all that stuff.
And you still have personal life also.
Yes.
Yo. But somehow you seem to manage. Can it be like?
Yeah, it seems to manage. If it gets too much, my fiance would usually tell me, "Listen, yeah, you haven't spent time with me in a while." You know, it's like, okay, I need to turn down, and that is why I also took the decision just to post every second week now because I need to make time for my family. The wedding is coming up, so I need to be more involved with that plans. And the guys has been drugging me for when is King of Slam going to happen. It's like, guys, no event is happening this year.
I was gonna also ask about that, but we're gonna get there. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We covered that. Oh yeah, because you get people, even though you know them, they'll still be like, yeah.
Hulle is ongeduldig.
Yeah. Yo, I wanna see the photos. I wanna see the photos. I wanna see the photos. I wanna see the video. I wanna see the video. Then they're like, yo, bro. But I feel like many people don't understand that. Like you just said, you said maybe an hour on a photo. Because, there's so many things you actually have to go through. Color correction.
And then you have to still add a signature, you export into Photoshop, you do final healing brush stuff on there.
The other thing is also, what did I say now? Why did I forget now what I wanted to say? But I think it will come back to me. It'll come back to me. If you had to choose, thus far in your video and photo career / journey, you're killing all these photos, right? Right, you're killing all these photos. What would be your best shoot that you've ever done? You think back to it and you're like, yeah, that was.
That's a difficult question. In terms of okay, I'm gonna put it up as a best car, and I'm gonna put it up as a best shoot.
Okay, that can work.
So, I think the best car I've shot is that red 350Z of JD. That's got the Rocket Bunny wide body kit on. I think that is like 13J. It's like Briani put at the back. That is my favorite car of all time I've shot so far.
I hope no one gets offended.
Yeah, look, all the cars is unique. I was actually wanting to touch on that at the later stage, but all the cars is unique. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
And then my best shoot, I think the most recent one of Fabian's Mercedes, the night shoot. We were going to try some new ideas and stuff, and that video shoot and photo shoot came out very nice.
Yeah, I saw that nightlife lights. You see how the light plays so heavy role in that.
But it also it depends on what you're using. Like that night, I used a black mist filter on the camera, so that softens up the light. It gives the highlights a bit of it gives it like a blowout. Previously, I didn't have a filter like that, and I had to do everything in Lightroom. So, yeah.
Yeah, in KFKulture, we don't use filters because you're out here in the KF. Wait. So you said Fabian's?
W124 Merc.
Okay. And then, okay, that's from the car side, like the best.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, so you would say that one and the red car,
Yeah.
that too. Okay. And the other question was that I have now: have you ever framed or canvassed one of your like works,
Um,
or do you plan to?
I'm planning to, but at the moment with 5 kids, there's no place for anything in the house.
Um, Not necessarily like to hang it maybe in the house, maybe to sell it or just
I'm planning on doing that at a later stage, but I've got the thing on top of my PC that I love by. So it's they call it the three wise monkeys. I don't know if you've ever heard of the three wise monkeys.
Please elaborate.
So the three wise monkeys, so this is like a gangster portrait of monkeys, of hear no evil, speak no evil.
Oh, doesn't it show in in your videos? Ne? I think
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's in your videos. Yeah.
So
Oh,
whenever
snap,
I
okay.
have difficult times I go through, I look up to that canvas. Then it teaches me, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. And that is something that I love by, and like a lot of guys will say, but this guy spoke cuck about you when you're not saying anything about it. It's like, that's fine. That's their opinion.
Yeah.
For me, it's just a kap aan.
Yeah.
The moment you start indulging in stuff like that, it starts harming your creativity at the end of the day.
Because now you got negative energy.
And it's not only the negative energy. You're going to do something now to prove a point to that, bruh. You see?
Unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily.
Oh yeah. The other thing is also, because we're going deep now into this photo video, your hardware that you use, PC, screen, just
Sure. That is. I don't have such a quiet setup.
It's not about quiet setup. It's just
yeah.
about what do you use.
So I was using like literally a i5 PC. Old school box, something that I've had. The PC was actually broken. So it broke during the time I sold my camera. And then it had to be fixed again. So my daughter dropped the box while it was on. I don't know I can't remember what she did, but the PC fell onto its side and then the PC didn't want to work again.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and then we tried to revive the PC. We revived it. It was going fine for a while. It was very slow. I think that one was still a i3 or i4 or something. 4 gig RAM. Very little. And it was very demanding on the photo work. And the moment I started going on to video, I knew I had to upgrade because this PC was just like shutting down the whole time while I'm editing a video on Premiere Pro. My brother decided to sponsor me his old gaming motherboard and his processor, which is an i5. He gave that to me, and I think with the 8 gig RAM, and I just bought a box to put it in. I transferred all my hard drives and stuff over. Just bought the SSD and another 8 gig RAM, so that it made it 16 gig. No graphics card. Onboard graphics.
Yo, it's the worst. Damn.
So it worked fine for a while, but the moment I started delving deeper into videography and the color grading, and when the moment you add extra adjustment layers and you have to do sharpening and all that stuff, it slows the PC down because it requires more CUDA cores and all that kind of jazz. I did a couple of shoots. I saved my money up when I went to Ricky and Carl's River. I went to him and he said, look here, he's got a 6 gig GTX 1060 for me for like $2,000 or $2,500 or something. I said, okay, I'm a bit short, I'm going to come back next month. And he kept it for me one side, and then when I got the extra $500, then I went straight to him, look here, I need it. Sorted the graphics card and made my life so much easier. I swapped over to the DaVinci Resolve after that. But yeah, that is basically my
your current like setup.
current setup. Okay, the previous motherboard broke.
Yeah.
I think this is probably from load shedding and stuff, because at the point I had to every time unscrew the case on the side, press my finger somewhere on the SSD port because that was being a problem. And the moment I pressed that, the PC would switch on. And it started getting stressful for me. I was thinking sometimes I want to take this PC and throw it out the window. And yeah, then I replaced it with a Ryzen 5, also from Ricky. Sorted me out with a motherboard and the processor, because that motherboards was i5s and they didn't make that specific series motherboards anymore, and my processor wouldn't fit on the new motherboard. So I had to literally make sacrifices and just close my eyes and go buy it. And yeah, that is the current setup right now.
Oh yeah, and the monitor.
The monitor is a Samsung 24-inch. It's not it's like entry-level monitors, man. So that is why I say, if I edit, I have to go, I'm viewing it on this one screen, and then I've got another monitor in the middle. But I switch that between my work laptop and my personal PC. So that monitor is also not color correct. So I view whatever I edit on both those monitors, and then I save a copy to my phone and onto a flash drive to check, okay, is the colors looking right on the video or the photos, and then I'll go view it on the TV, because it's always good to have that perspective. Then I'll say, okay, it looks a bit too yellow, or it's a look, you to get the colors and stuff right.
The reason why I asked that is because like people know you take dope photos, you're killing it, guru guy. It's just to show like, yeah, you don't need like the crazy expensive stuff to do the work. That's why I asked, like, just to run through your setup and stuff like that, because maybe people don't know.
Yeah,
you see.
I would like to get to that point one day, though. One day when I'm big.
Now on to cars. How did you get into the car scene?
That was since school days already. There used to be a guy. Okay, let me put it this way. My grandfather had a Ford Cortina Big 6 XLE. It always stood garaged. 1976 model, I think. Cream with brown top. And everybody was always, don't your grandfather want to sell this car? Don't your grandfather want to sell this car? And like, that is, my family always, they were always working on the car, especially my uncle. They were always in the car stuff. Then you will take us for drives in the car, then the man will perform a bikkie. It was like, it's lekker. But when it truly started, when I got into high school, there was this guy, his name was Marcelino. Sadly, he passed away now, I think in the beginning of the year somewhere. He had this green Toyota Hilux bakkie, turbocharged. I think, I'm not sure if it was a 1JZ or something that he had in there, but I'm now talking now about probably around about 25 years ago. And that time already, that man had like, the stuff was cheap then. It wasn't overpriced like it is now. I think it was a 1JZ. And that guy's bakkie, like, literally, it blew me away. I mean, we were always talking about cars. Like, I had this mad idea of buying a Polo Player, the Millennium Edition, I think they called it back then. I had this thing for this car, and till today I've never owned a Polo Player.
Damn.
That was always like, the thing I wanted to get into. And then I started, my neighbor was also into cars. I think he helped me build my first, I would call it a race rocket. My first car I had was the Beetle. That was like a two-tone color, gunmetal and white. And that was also a bit souped, not really souped up, but then the Nissan Pulsar came. Biggest financial mistake I made in my life. Watched too much Fast and Furious. Ons gooi sommer Fast and Furious Corsa kit op die car, and it's a molded kit and everything they did on the car, and you know, that was the time the rice was in, man. Like, you know, the ricing days, they used to call me Ricer Boy because I had this strange bucket seats. I had a custom sapphire bumper at the back of the car, and I've got the Opel Corsa Fast and the Furious kit on. With this massive vents in the front and a GTR badge in the grill. And it's a Nissan Pulsar. It's like
Okay.
this old Pulsars, man. You know the Langleys?
Hmm.
So this is the hatchback Langley, the two-door.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it probably looked crazy because all this modification and stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
jeez, it was like, that was a money pit. I mean, if I knew what I knew today, I would gladly go back and go smack the shit out of myself. I would have rather just bought a SR20 motor and dropped it in and just keep the car neat on a lekker paar rims, coilovers, and that's that.
Okay, so that's how you got into.
That's basically how I got into it. I mean, we used to go a lot to Kalani also. But I didn't plan to go into the stance scene. I was more into the racing and stuff. But yeah, the Pulsar also had like side drafts and everything on. I spent so much
Yo.
money on that car.
That car sounds like it's ready to drive, to
Yeah,
race.
that's the biggest mistake I made. And then I bought the Honda Ballade dock, the neatest car. My EG is neat, but this car was like, it looked like it came from Miko, Honda Miko. So then I decided like, I like the clean and simple look of things. And then my ex-wife got pregnant with the first child, and I had to sell that car because she couldn't get out. 60 mil drop back then. That was a 60 mil razor kit that was in the car. 60 mil drop back then was already low. Nowadays it's like coilovers turned down to 100 mil or something, and it's like, bro, you're not scraping. So I had to sell that car, and then I had this red and white City Golf that 1300 that I was driving for probably 7 years. Times was tough. Couldn't do anything to a car.
Your 4-speed vibes.
4-speed, yes. Yeah. And then if the oil pressure kicks up, then you hear that weird alarm sound coming from the dashboard. So yeah, that is the time I started taking photography more seriously because I wanted to, make extra money. But I went at it for the wrong reasons. I wanted to make money from it. I didn't take it as my passion when it started.
Mm.
And later I say, okay, the money's coming in, but it's going to the family and stuff. You have to invest in the important things in life. Karspelletjies kom laaste. So I mean, yes, the stuff happened for a reason, but I had the wrong mindset going at it.
Mm.
And passion will always trump money, no matter what anyone tells you. Money, yes, money is needed to run this stuff, and
You
pay
can't run without it.
you can't run without it. But the moment you put your focus on the money, and that is where
Things can go wrong.
things can go wrong, and you lose your creative ability because you're stagnating due to putting your focus on money.
Do you have any plans with your Honda?
Well, we did quite a bit on the car. A lot of people don't know. The car looks very stock.
Yes, please tell us more if they don't know.
It's very neat. If you follow through the channel, you'll see there's been various updates on the car. A couple of years ago, I bought the car. The suspension was fraught. The car was freak neat, but the suspension was fraught. There were some minor issues. So in the 3 years I've owned it, I've literally sorted the entire car out. I redid the entire suspension. Something happened. I blew a top gasket with the 1800 motor, and then the guy at Garage 10 told me, look here, you can do the top gasket and everything, but you're still gonna be sitting with the same power. So
Nothing's gonna change.
so he suggested, do a B20 B8 swap, which is the higher comp. You get your B20B and then you get your B20 B8, which is a higher comp motor. I think they stock out of the blocks 108 kilowatt. And then obviously, yeah, that didn't go as planned either. The first motor we got was sludge in it. And he said like, bro, I'm not gonna fit this motor for you because a month down the line you run a bearing and then it's my problem. So he said, okay, he's gonna send the motor back because it was literally like Marmite stuck in the head. Send the motor back after arguments with him. Got another one delivered. Everything.
Why would there be arguments though?
Uh,
Let's say you used it already or you fitted it already or
no,
it's you.
it's just like I tried to get them to come fetch the motor.
Oh.
Because we've opened the tappet cover and realized, look, here's Marmite. It's like,
Okay.
so it's a whole up and down story, but eventually it got sorted.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
sent another motor, opened the tappet cover, it was golden and everything. This man fit the motor, start the car, there the car smoked. I said, look here, I don't list for arguments with these people. Again, let's just rebuild the motor. So he rebuilt the motor for me. He raised the compression a bit more by skimming the head, and then just everything bolted over from the 1800. Then I've got a custom induction that was fabricated by the guy we were at on that video what Fabian polished his car. So he made a custom induction, and then obviously the car's got the 63mm system through. It should make around 123 kilowatt, but
you didn't take it on a dyno yet.
I didn't take it on a dyno yet because I'm still running the stock ECU, the 1800 ECU.
Okay.
So it's underfueling a bit at the moment. It's not giving me problems. I mean, this motor, usually the guys after a year with the B20 motors, they bearing. Because what they're doing, they stand on the limiter and you're not supposed to. Oh yes, and this is what we also did. We operated the oil pump right there because we know that was the weak spot. Why the guys is running bearings, because they're reffing shit high with the cars. And those motors weren't designed to ref that high constantly. So there's quite a bit of work into the car. Like I said, body-wise it doesn't show that because all the stuff that was replaced is underneath the car.
Yeah, because like I just hear what not, and I'm like, whoa, okay, now this money's here.
And it's got the coilovers in. I've got poly bushes in the suspension. I've got.
Oh, you got coilovers in, but now isn't it like isn't that the whole thing now where you can't do the lowerings and the.
Yeah, but that is why my friends make fun of me because I drive 4x4. The problem with ARC coilovers is on the EGs and the EK specifically, it doesn't go that low. So I just, okay, the general rule they had was you need a 2-finger gap between the arch and the wheel. So we just kept it like that. But now with this whole thing going on, I mean, I haven't been pulled over yet or anything.
I was on a ask now.
I drive daily with a car. I pick my kids up from school, I go drop them at school. I drive every day. I went through a roadblock here and there. I didn't have any issues. Sometimes you'll get a guy that looks so skewe kyk na die suspension toe. Then they just ask license and geo license. And I think the problem with the guys is lately is jy moenie hardkoppig raak met die mense nie, man. You mustn't go now to the guy. Just be normal. Because you don't know what kak day this guy had. So if an officer approach you, just act normal. The first thing the guys do usually is like they lose their shit. Now, why must you pull me off or something like that? Is it now because I drive a Honda or my car is lowered or it's altyd die Honda ouens wat mos getarget word, but they don't see the Nissan drivers and VW drivers going through the same shit. So yeah, it's just I suppose it depends who you get, where you drive, and if you're catching on crap. I mean, a lot of these guys don't give you the full story when they post their TikTok videos and stuff online, and so
Would you say
when
that's for clout?
yeah, a lot of these guys want to bump their views up and stuff. So I'm not saying that's the case all the time, but sometimes when you look at a video, you kind of say, "But here's something else to the story, man." If you look, sometimes you need to listen and look, because if you don't do both, it's like, okay, the Oscar flows now and everybody's believing him. But you need to have an open mind with these things. Is there something else maybe playing a role in what happened?
Yeah.
Because I've known a lot of guys that's cars is bagged or on coilovers. Their discs was never taken. They go through roadblocks fine.
With a Honda.
Once I had to look, the Hondas is like a magnet for traffic cops. Yeah.
But how do you feel about this whole thing that's happening? Do you think it's okay? Do you think that it's good? Do you think it's bad?
Yes and no. Because look, I agree with the point where they say the no number plate thing. Yeah, they need to have a stricter approach, because every time, okay, I just pay the fine, finish in car. There has to be some sort of consequence at the end of the day, because anything can happen. And everybody is law-abiding citizens, and then people that have petty stuff that happens, they get penalized more than a person driving out without a number plate or doing this or that. There's some reckless drivers on the road. There's no two ways about it. But and the traffic cops can't be everywhere at the same time. But to come back to the point, I might sell the Honda.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
put all that work in.
Yeah, but I've got bigger ambitions, man. Like I told you, I want to invest into my gear.
Oh, yeah.
So as part of my gear, I'm looking at getting a station wagon, a Mercedes station wagon, or maybe a caddy van, the new caddy vans. At the later stage, that is a bit pricey at the moment, but we shot Shaba's car for the synthesis film in a caddy van. The rolling shots was, I was blown away. It's so much simpler sitting with a sliding door open and you have got no wind coming through, and you're just sitting and laying there without, having to hang out the window or
Yeah.
anything.
Yo, that's like.
And the back door also opens up, so you can sit at the back and it just locks in. You can shoot from so many angles with those caddies, and it just, for me now, and this is what a lot of guys said, like, I try to get rolling shots in all my videos.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Some people even say it's like a signature they know me by. They will know, okay, this is because I don't know what they mean by saying it's different to the normal guys rolling shots. Like, everybody's always raving about the rolling shots and stuff. Like me, I'm a person. If somebody gives me compliments, ek bly stil en ek bloos. I don't know what to do with it, because I don't want it to go to my head. For me, it's just like, you have wins and you have losses. You have to accept both at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But don't let it get to you. That's what I always try to live by.
That's why I was saying, like off camera and now on camera, I feel like you're super talented and super underrated at the same time.
Yeah. Look, like I've mentioned to you, then it's like, rather grow at a steady, slow pace than a fast pace, because I mean, you even see it in movies. People portraying these roles. If you grow too quickly, power goes to your head. I don't know if you watch Ragnarok.
Which one of, like, the Marvel, or you mean
The one on
different
Netflix.
series?
The one on
I've
Netflix.
seen it. Do you know
About
what?
the Norse tale.
Nah, I don't know.
The Norse tale about Thor and Loki and them stuff. So Thor got his hammer. It's just young light. He's inherited god powers. So I can't remember now the storyline, but they inherit powers. But now Thor finally got the hammer, and because he got that power, it went to his head, and now ordering everyone around and stuff. So I don't want to spoil too much about it for whoever is watching it, but he was brought down to earth very quickly. And the moment you fall back to earth is the moment you fall the hardest, and you lose all your potential client base, your followers, all those stuff.
Valuable information, valuable lesson, valuable teachings. Wait. Were you in a car group?
What core group?
No, I'm just asking.
So yeah, basically the only core group I am in is Resistance Lifestyle. Maybe I must start off. Oops,
But not back. You weren't back in the day, like in a group or anything.
yeah, that is the Pulsar. They carried as a UFO gelijk. Area 51 was the club's name. So that was a core group that a bunch of us created. I used to work at Campbell Hardware, and Ziad Osman, the boss's lighty, he had a Citroen C2 with neon lights and everything, and my car looked like a spaceship, so we just decided to call it Area 51. That is where it started. I mean, and then when I took a break from the car groups and stuff, I just focused on family time and getting my photography game up.
The reason, the reason why I was asking that because like I saw something. That's why I just asked about car group. Were you in one before? I know you were with Resistance, but I mean like before.
So the photography stuff back in the day, I started out with Tariq Ajam, Cape Stance. Then I decided to go to State of Stance, which was I think it's a Puerto Rican, it's an international photography blog. So I started shooting for them. Then I decided to start my own thing. Well, not my own thing. I met up with Zach from Johannesburg. He was also shooting at that time for State of Stance, and we started Neckbreakers together. That didn't work out, and in 2013 we started Resistance Lifestyle.
Okay, yeah. Now tell me more about that. That's good that you like go away. So tell me more about Resistance. Resistance.
Resistance, yeah. So it's a play of words. Okay. So a lot of guys say resistance, but it's actually resistance.
Like stance.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. We decided to start that. All the guys at cars I shot, they grabbed with to say, okay, we're gonna start with you. So that was started, and then obviously we went through the whole process of King of Slam. We got new members on. We basically became a very close clique of friends. So myself and Fabian, I think, is the only guys that's left from the original guys.
Why did they did they just leave because
family responsibilities and stuff?
Okay.
Some of the guys grew up, they sold their cars, and they don't, the money right now fits. I don't know, that is like a thing lately. Everybody's driving bicycles.
That's not bad though. What's healthy?
Yeah.
And fuel is expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and that is why I said earlier, Fabian kept the Ford for 6 years while I was away, because I told him I'll come back, and when I'm back I'll obviously get in touch with him, but we didn't lose touch because they still invited me to come judge at the last King of Slam. And I think and also a reason why I took a break, one of our members passed away, Fakhri Amin. He passed away, and that was a big knock for me because he was somebody I could rely on. I could lean on him. A very, very knowledgeable guy. And he was also one of the guys that, he would give me draad, man. Yeah, this photo is oversaturated, man. And he will tell me, did you color this photos in with crayons or something? He will always give so a snarks a comment to me. And I mean, I took that as a big knock. And I mean, straight after that, I went into, all my stuff also started happening.
Yeah.
And I took that 6-year break. And one of our other members also passed away in COVID.
Damn.
Tariq. We had a tribute of him on the channel. But yeah, that was the OGs. A lot of the OGs, like I say, moved on to family life and things.
If people wanna, is the just a random thought now. If people ask you like, yeah, can I join the group? Are you guys taking members or not members or what? Just in case, like, or has there been people asking, yeah, can I join?
There's been a couple of guys that ask if they can join, but we try to keep it the same guys because we don't like the politics and stuff, man. Sometimes and what we sometimes do is we tell the guys, okay, look here, hold on a bit, man. Let us just first get to know you a bit better. Then we'll welcome you because it's more like a family thing for us. Ons is 'n klomp ou ballies in die groep. Almal van ons het kinders. And sometimes I'm not saying this is always the case, but people come in and they ruin that
the good vibes.
And then politics starts. We don't like politics. We try to distance ourselves from politics and stuff. And I think that is why we've been along so long. We've been along. Sorry, my woordeknop nou. We've been together for a very long time. 2013 we started out. We're still there. Albeit now the 6 years I was out. I think to myself sometimes, if I just stuck it through the 6 years, I've missed out all those opportunities of getting better at what I'm doing. But now I'm trying to make up for that lost time.
So, there's a blog as well, right?
There used to be a blog.
There used to be.
Yeah.
But you can still go on it though.
You can still go on it.
Okay, yeah, because I saw you can still go on it.
There's a write-up of the cars and stuff, but the traffic for blogs became so little. Everybody preferred to be on Instagram and Facebook. So I just thought to myself, like, just upload the photos on the album on Facebook, and then it's easier, and you get more incoming traffic because the people click share. And then that helped us a lot to grow back the client, or not the client base, you grow back the following base that you used to have back in the day. That 6 years, I think we lost about 7,000 followers because people saw there's no activity on the page anymore and they just unclicked. So yeah, this 2 years was all about rebranding, rebuilding, and getting the YouTube channel up and running again. Or not again, getting a YouTube channel up and running.
Yeah.
It's not there where we want it to be yet, because essentially what I would like to do is I would like to get into a spot or a space where I basically go and work on my own car, man. Like I want to, like Adam LZ and all those people are doing. I grab a lot of inspiration from that, guys, but it's not that simple because the funds and time is not always available.
Yeah, with a car, you need money. You can't just out of funny.
And that is what people enjoy. They like watching build series. So the stance click isn't that great on a following base on YouTube in South Africa at the moment. Overseas, obviously, it's quiet but those guys go all out on their cars. It's not your normal. It's not just bags and wheels.
Which is common here. Actually.
Which is common here. Those people go into full builds, interior, engine, suspension,
fabrication,
everything. And that is what we would strive to go for at a later stage.
So is the blog gonna stay inactive? Or do you have plans to actually reboot it, or do you just gonna leave it?
I'm not sure about that yet, because managing social media. So currently I'm managing the Resistance Lifestyle Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube channel, and then I still have to manage my Lensmatics Facebook page, and my personal pages and stuff. So it's a bit much for me
A
at
lot
the
of
moment.
admin, yeah.
It's a lot of admin, and for me, admin is the last thing of my worry. To me, creativity is first. Because that is where the power is.
Mm.
Yes, you can have a nice presentation and stuff on social media, etc., and you can tag all these wonderful tags and stuff, which I don't always do. And I think I'm doing it the injustice by not doing that tagging system, but the reality is there's not always time to go unless I now put something there and copy and paste it the whole time.
Yeah, you could do that. And just change the whole time. Keep it in your memo pad or whatever the case may be.
Because you'll see our Instagram page following base doesn't line up with the Facebook following page because it's quite big on Facebook, but on Instagram it's very, very little.
Generally, Facebook will be more
Mm.
because there will be more people on Facebook. On Facebook, you'll get quicker views as well
Mm.
because I feel like people spend more time on Facebook than on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is just scroll, scroll,
Scroll,
scroll.
scroll, scroll, scroll. Yeah. So
Oh yes, and I had a TikTok page also, but that fell off the wagon because I just thought to myself, hey, this buyer, it's a lot of admin. I can't keep up with everything, and then I must still make time for my family and my work also. It's like you have to make a sacrifice here and
But-
there.
but look, if you're posting on Instagram, then you can still post on TikTok as well. In the same blow.
Oh,
Because it's the same kind of.
yeah.
So whatever short, whatever like reel
Mm.
you posting on Instagram, you just start take the same reel, put it on.
Mm. Yeah, but then there's that copyright issue also.
Oh yeah, you have music. No, are you talking about the music or are you talking about watermark stuff?
So music, yeah,
Music.
music that you use in the videos.
Yeah, I seen the stuff you have in your. Why don't you just use the YouTube audio library?
It's not the type of music I'm into. So if you listen to the videos that I've put out, you'll hear there's a lot of funk, trap music, and
There's a lot of bangers there. You must check that thing out. You must check it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bangers there.
yeah. So that is a type of music I feel comfortable with
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
express my art.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people say, "But Jason, a white man." It's like you guys don't
Yeah.
listen to stuff like that. It's Memphis and all those type of things, and it's like, I mean, it's how I was brought up, man. It's not I grew up like that. Yeah, there were stages in my life that I listened to all this heavy metal, and I listen to anything, but when I want to portray my art, I do it with that type of music, and that's why people say, "But why don't you use other music?" I'm not making the videos for you. I'm making it for myself because the moment you make it for someone else, it becomes someone else's need and not your own need.
Yeah, you are correct. But in a way, also, I think it's like a
It's a 50-50.
50-50 because
Yes.
you want to draw the attention of
Mm.
the masses, but you also wanna for yourself. So I guess it can go both ways.
But that's the other problem where some artists get lost in that transition. Yes, having followers and stuff coming in on your channel, it's nice. And that is where I spoke about earlier, if it goes up too quickly. Then you almost start, you are changing who you are to satisfy someone else. And you as an artist, by doing that, you started becoming an artist for specific reasons. It's your passion.
Yeah.
And yes, there is certain adjustments you need to make
Yeah.
to satisfy clients and stuff like that. But you need to have your hint of your personality and creativity in it.
Yeah, you
And
shouldn't
that is where a lot of artists go off the path.
Yeah. You
And
shouldn't
then they
oh,
ask like, hey, what's going on now? Why am I losing so much views, etc., etc.? And then people often like people being genuine,
Mm.
but people also like drama. So if you'll see on TikTok, TikTok is renowned for its drama. People get views on TikTok, so they start drama that doesn't exist to get in those views. So they're working with a smart plan, but at the end of the day, it's not really ethical.
Mm.
So for me, I'm always a person that believe in ethics. I would rather take my time growing, take a knock. Okay, not everybody has to follow me, but I'm not doing it for others. I'm doing it for myself. I'm putting my art out there. And some people will say, that's an arrogant thing to say, but the reality is it's not. If you're going to do it for the viewers and the followers, then you already missed that opportunity of bettering yourself.
Mm.
Because you can get a unique niche out of that journey you go. And I mean, if you're doing it for followers, that means someone else has done it already.
Mm.
Everybody is now following this specific way, and it doesn't really. And I mean, that is the originality, where your originality comes from. Also, just be yourself when you do these things. Not always try to impress other people.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
The clout.
Yeah, so you shouldn't go for clout also, and you shouldn't like change. Um, like you said, you shouldn't like change completely. There should still be some of you
Yeah,
there. So yeah, I completely agree with that. You shouldn't
that
change.
balance is very important.
Yeah, in everything basically,
Mm.
in everything. Um, King of Slam, just the history when it started.
So one day we decided we're going to have an event. We didn't have a name yet. And I think this is one of the most controversial things that happened on shows. Um, we still don't know who called the police that day for the first King of Slam, because we held it at, I think it was Ford there in town, and for some reason someone made a call to say yes, people racing outside. There, the whole Ghost Squad pulled up on that day.
When that was at 2013.
2013, 2014, around about there. That was the first King of
Okay.
Slam. We started off in a car workshop. The event was nice and a success and everything, and the bad taste that burned us was the Ghost Squad, because I mean that day we lost a big following because people thought we couldn't plan properly, and I mean it was something that happened that wasn't in our control. Someone outside made a call to say people is racing outside, but dis aan staanskarre, die manne draai hulle coilovers plat. Why do you want to go scraping racing? You can't even go further with a car. That was the first one. The second one we did was at Wingfield, so we got all the, we learned from the first one. We got the medical, we had to go through the whole events planning thing, get the approvals of all that. So that was in Wingfield Hangar. That was also a success. And like I said, things went a bit downwards there because I went on that sabbatical basically for 6 years, and then Fabian and the current guys decided to host the third King of Slam, and that was at Mutual Park, I think. We are thinking of having another King of Slam, but I told the guys, let's wait for my wedding to finish at November, and then next week we're gonna start. But I don't know if you saw the Synthesis film series it's a short film.
I haven't. To be honest, I haven't seen the recent one, the recent episode.
2023.
I haven't seen the recent.
Yeah, so that's the third installment. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the name of King of Slam and change it to Synthesis, because Synthesis is the meaning behind the film is to unite the scene, because there's been a lot of division and politics and stuff going on. And that is the reason why we started the filming of it. And it's something for us to work with. It helped us grow in the process, and you learn through the process. Working with others in collaboration, that is key in today's life. you can't just be on your own. You need to collab with others because it teaches you a different perspective of things. So we might change King of Slam to call it Synthesis because we want all the groups and stuff together to have their cause at the show. It mustn't be only this and that guys is here, but the other mense will come here because they have issues with you. And that is the big thing in the scene lately, because some people won't support you because one guy in the group they don't approve of, or he's got issues with this guy or that guy in the group, you know. And that is why we try to distance ourselves from politics.
Wait, so if there is another King of Slam, that would be what, next year? If there is one.
If all goes well
Yeah.
in planning phase, then probably next year, yes.
Okay.
Because then I don't have the wedding and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
things to focus on. So this is my busy season of the year. I can't really do planning at this time of the year. So when January starts, then we're gonna start planning the Synthesis next film and filming of it and everything. We're gonna take our time with it, and then obviously planning of the event.
Okay. Resistance sells merch, right? Or currently not? They do or not?
We do, but I think this is one of the hoodies I have here. I was actually gonna put it on earlier. This is just one of the hoodies we made. It's a bietjie opgebouwen now. But yeah, it's as and when I have funds available, man, then I'll make like a batch of caps, hoodies, beanies or whatever, and shirts. But yeah, we got sold out now with all our merch the couple of months ago, and I didn't replenish the merch again. The people has been asking, but finding suppliers is a big thing. Like this hoodie supply that we used, they don't exist anymore, so I need to go hunting now. But like I said, the wedding and everything else is taking up time, so from next year onwards we'll probably get back into the merch game again.
Okay. I think I covered everything. I think so. I think I did. Advice to people who wanna do what you do, or just general advice.
So I tell this to everyone that asks me that question. Gear doesn't matter. Because I mean, if I look at my photos that I did with that crappy cameras back then, my style and everything is still the same. There is certain hints that it's a better camera here and there. For video purposes, yes, it's obviously makes a massive difference. But in terms of gear, don't let everyone tell you, and this is what I hate about YouTube and this influencers. You need to buy this camera, or you need to buy this lens because it's the best lens on the market right now. Sorry, I just want to move up a bit here. It's not always about the gear. What I usually tell the guys is, what you have now, try to hit the max of the ceiling before you upgrade to your next one. And I mean, that is, like I told you earlier, I shot with that 500D probably for 5 years before I upgraded to the 550D, and that wasn't even a massive upgrade. Autofocus and all those things is important, but and this is where a lot of people say they will disagree. Post-processing is a thing that I believe firmly in, and that is where the magic happens. Yes, it is right. It is the right way to have the correct composition, the right settings and stuff taken from the camera. But the real art begins in, post-processing, because that is where you have to put everything together, especially with video.
To a long process.
It's a long process, and I'm getting to a point where I would like to have a unique type of cinematics compared to other people. I like to tell a story. Other people just hooi, klaar. I would like to tell a story in the video. I don't just want to put clips together for the sake of it. But my advice to people would be, don't let people tell you gear matters when it doesn't necessarily matter. You can make amazing photos with any camera if you have the willpower and the passion to do it.
Mm. That's facts. That's facts. And where can people find you on social media?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is a bit dead at the moment. YouTube, obviously, Resistance Lifestyle. Yeah, so Resistance Lifestyle is on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. My personal page is Divan Shepherd Lensmatics for all my other stuff. Then, yeah, that's basically.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay. That should be all for today. And thank you once again for coming through. Thank you for this sit down, ladies and gentlemen. This is like the first time we met. But I've seen you. Like I've seen you. And I was like, okay, nah. I've seen you like at a few car shows and stuff. But I'm like,
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, okay, nah, the man is busy. Let me do his thing there. Cause you were there at where was that? At my sister's thingy, Elite. The Elite. Simply Elite.
With Wade.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, you were there. Then I was like, okay, nah. I see the
people,
man.
and this is what people don't always get, man. They mustn't be afraid to approach, because, like, I get upset sometimes when the people treat me like some sort of celebrity. It's like, guys, I'm a normal person. You can approach me, because some of the younger photographers that come up to you and is like, oh, can I greet you? It's like, what are you talking about? You know, that's like, I don't carry that presence with me. It's just, you know, if you appreciate someone, go up to them, ask them the questions and stuff that you need to ask. I don't bite. I'm a very approachable person.
Yeah, normally I don't like for me, like if I'm shooting or doing something, I don't really want people to bother me, because now I'm in the zone. Now you still
Yeah, I'm always in the zone when it comes to, like, even sitting here, I'm already thinking about creative ideas. Or if someone talks to me, I'm always having something in my head.
Yeah.
It's just a problem I have, and my fiance gets upset with me about it, because she'll talk about something, then I'm already calculating another scene in my other side.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. But I'm glad we met on the podcast and not anywhere else, because this is a dope first interaction. So that's what I like. It's organic. It's like nothing scripted. We just sat down, chilled, talked. And people also got to know more about you if they haven't yet. Now they know more about you, and in depth, basically. So once again, thank you very much for coming through. I appreciate it so much.
No problem. Yeah.
And that is the end of the show, guys. Episode 29. We got the photo video killer here. Mr. Resistance, Mr. What? Resistance, eh? Resistance. Sound like French vibes. Divan. So thank you very much once again. And then if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and also drop a comment down below what you thought of the video. And also audio episodes on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Don't forget, once again, subscribe, hit that subscribe. And yeah, that's the end of today's episode. Don't forget, guys, support and promote yourself like you are your biggest fan. Safe.